Hello, everybody. It is the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. I'm your host, Barry Welsh. We are live Friday night, open forum. So, in a few minutes, I'll be getting into the comments to see if there are any questions or topics people want to talk about. Last night, did an episode called White on Crime and got some blowback from that as I was expecting to, because it's not something you hear. It's not portrayed that way in the media. But my response to those that contacted me about it and were upset about being called white on crime, now you know how it feels in other communities, specifically the black community, when the term black on black crime is thrown out there as a way of lessening the impact of the crime, or making it seem less relevant, if you will, or less important. So while calling it white on crime made some people cringe a little bit, well, sometimes you need to be uncomfortable in order to see the truth. And the truth is, in a lot of situations, especially when it comes to mass shootings, school shootings, it's white men in my age range, or just below or just above. So just keeping it real, okay? And as far as we're talking about, starting out talking about potentially hate crimes, Atlanta, Georgia, we know about the 8 people shot recently, 8 people killed, 7 of them women, 6 of them Asian. The other 2 were white, and it was a white man. And Joe Biden, President Biden, and Kamala Harris, Vice President Harris, were in Atlanta, Georgia today, and made the remarks that hate will have no safe harbor in the United States, and hate has been met with silence for too long. Made a lot of rhetorical comments that we talk about and have been talking about here for several months. So welcome aboard, Mr. President and Madam Vice President. And that's one of the functions of EAR. You know, they sign behind me, EAR, End All Racism, a movement that was founded out of this show. And basically what EAR is it's a bridge, if you will, for like-minded individuals from all communities to come together to defeat racism. You know, racism was created by human beings, and I believe racism can be and must be ended by human beings. Now, what we're going to do, Star Child, she compared it to a box of Crayola crayons, a 64 color box of crayons, that we're going to have a lot of different options for things. And what we plan on doing is we're going to be hitting racists in the pocketbook, okay? There are those that want to hit racists in the chest with bullets, and that's not what we're about. We're a peaceful organization, a peaceful movement, and we're not detracting from those that are that have had enough, that have reached the breaking point. That to them there are no, it's a hard no on anything to do with anyone that has anything to do with a white person. And there are those out there in the Black community. I'm totally aware of that. I don't expect you to be part of the organization. I just ask for consideration of respect in what we're trying to do. Our focus is not going to be in the streets as other organizations are. That's not our lane, so to speak. Okay. Some of our focuses are going to lie in the courtrooms, in filing lawsuits. Now, some will say the Southern Poverty Law Center takes care of that. Well, they take care of big organizations, but they don't always file suits against individuals. And there's nothing wrong with having two organizations filing suit against the same racist organization. It just gives that much more credence and power behind the civil action, the legal action. And that's what our organization is going to be about. We're going to focus on the courtrooms. We're going to focus on Congress. We're going to focus on the classrooms. We're going to focus on the congregations, because the supreme power, the Almighty, God, the Most High, Allah, whatever term we as individuals use for that same power that we all seek to be blessed and strengthened and comforted by, that power does not want racism hiding behind the word, whatever your interpretation of the word may be. It is, after all, your interpretation, and they're all very, very similar. And the most important to me in all of them is love from Christ Jesus. That's me personally. Okay. So that's what EAR is going to be and is becoming, and it's starting to grow. And we have charter memberships available. We have 50 of them available, and it's we have a Cash App. I hope it's up. I'm honestly not sure. Some things have been going on today that I didn't connect with Star to see if the Cash App is up for EAR yet. But if not, there's a Cash App we're using, and it's not $ American Doofus. That is just for this show. We also have a GoFundMe for EAR to help get the movement off the ground. So, and what a charter membership, you're going to get an actual membership card, a charter membership card. You're going to be on the charter, and you'll be able to come to all the virtual meetings, and you'll get a nice quality T-shirt that is like the logo back here, only in black instead of blue. So, and that's for $40. So that's this is about a movement. This is about ending racism, and it actually has started with us. And if it's in your heart to be a part of it, please join. If you want to poo-poo it, that's okay. Just have some respect. Just ignore us. Just avoid it. Don't tear down things that are there to potentially lift all boats, if you will. A rising tide lifts all boats. The better everybody is, the better everybody will be. And that's a philosophy that I personally believe in. I also want to touch base real quick on Angry Knuckles and Delta Django. Okay, I'll do that right now. I just got a text asking me if I knew anything about anything potentially. About anything potentially happening tomorrow. Tomorrow is May the 20th. It's the first day of spring, and it also has some significance because probably 4 weeks ago, right before the majority of the alt-right disappeared off of the internet, and uh, began what most of us that have been kind of analyzing this back and forth, what most of us believe. They have everything's gone not only offline but off of the phone, and things are only being done in person to make sure information doesn't get out. The last information, the last little piece I had was that March 20th might be a date for this. I don't remember what they called it now, where they're going to rise up was it the swarm? I don't remember what term they used, where there was going to be an uprising, and everybody that basically didn't agree with them was going to be killed and cleansed, and America would be great again, and Donald Trump will be president again, and all things will be right in the whack job minds of some individuals. And that's scary. And that's scary because while it does cross racial lines, if you will, it's a very white majority organization. Those are white majority organizations, and with racism veiled at the best, and just unspoken at the worst. So Knuckles, and so that I had not March the 20th, tomorrow. If I had heard anything, I would make sure everybody knew about it, but I have not heard anything. That does not mean that something is not going to happen. That just means I'm not expecting anything to happen. If it does, and I get word of it, I'm going to be on here live tomorrow. You can be guaranteed of that. But I have not heard anything is imminent on tomorrow, on March 20th, from the Oath Keepers, from the Proud Boys, from any of the like-minded organizations. So hopefully nothing happens except for March Madness and the NCAA tournament for those that are paying attention to that. I had a friend call me that Oral Roberts beat Ohio State University today. So that's a little bit it's a little bit crazy to even think about, even for someone that I haven't been following college basketball for a while. But again, as far as I know, nothing tomorrow. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Actually, if they were smart, we wouldn't have any idea it was going to happen. But you saw how successful they were January 6th, when I had been telling for 2 weeks that was coming, despite the government saying they didn't know it was going to happen. A lot of us did, and a lot of us tried to warn people that it was coming. And I did that extensively, as those of you that watch know. So Angry Knuckles and Delta Django had a conversation, and I wish everybody could see it. I wish everybody would have watched it. You can't make people watch things, but there's so much just raw humanity in that discussion, and a couple of things that jump out is how close we are as human beings. How similar our thoughts and our concerns are, and yet how incredibly divided and how incredibly far apart we can be. And the only way we actually understand that is by having those conversations, or watching other people have those conversations, to show that it's okay to have those conversations, even when there are times that it's uncomfortable. It's okay to have those conversations. The other thing I noticed, and actually other people have noticed and pointed it out as well, is that a similar thread is running through this country, and that is lack of confidence in our government. We don't trust our government. CNN went into a restaurant and asked an entire restaurant how many people were going to get the COVID vaccine. And it was crickets. Not a single person in the entire restaurant was going to get the vaccine. And the majority of them said they don't trust the government as a reason for not getting the vaccine. Now, the vaccine's not manufactured by the government. Okay, the manufacturers of the Pfizer vaccine, they're not even in this country. Okay, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, the one-shot vaccine that some people are questioning, that's Cincinnati, Ohio. You know, it's the federal government didn't come up with or make the vaccines, but yet the trust or lack thereof, the trust in an individual, the former President Trump, trumps, pun intended, the trust in our current government in some individuals. And that's, you know, it's understandable. It's totally understandable, but it's dangerous when we're dealing with so many different circumstances and situations. And that's something that Knuckles and Delta have in common, the lack of trust in the government. That's something that many people, many of you watching right now, that we have in common is a lack of trust in our government. You know, I said often, I love this country, but I fear the government. And that's just where it's at. So that's what I kind of wanted to get out, as well as a very sincere thank you to everybody that has helped and is helping and supporting me in the show. Thank you. I'm humbled. And I just thank you. The Swarm is what it was called there, T-Rex. I just looked up. I'm getting ready to head over into the comments. NFAC must not have been too impressed with the turnout, as that article is the only result to be found. No YouTube videos whatsoever. Okay, Space Frog, I'm not sure. Not sure what that's about. Okay, somebody's correcting that. So okay, that's conversation between them. Anybody have anything you want to throw out at me, or while I'm on here for a few minutes, I'll go back up to the top and say, hey, Knuckles, how are you, man? I have not looked at email today, so but I hope you got the one I sent to you about getting your address so we can get that stuff to you. Sam Smith, what about a focus on lobbying Congress to pay reparations for Native Blacks? That's something that we've discussed in EAR, in our meetings. We're not there. We're not big enough yet. Okay. But we can be, and we're going to need your help to do that too. You know, we're going to need you to go to, and not just you, Sam, but everybody watching. You know, we're going to need you to go to Twitter and tag some people. You know, tag some professional athletes, tag some influencers, tag some people that and draw their attention to what we're doing here. so that we can rapidly grow this to where it's a point that we can go to Congress and say, hey, look, here is a way to really bring peace. Here's a way to really bring unity and lobby Congress. That's yes. From the jump, I've said one of the things I'm going to be doing, we're not going to be paying professional lobbyists. That's not where the money's going to go. Now we are going to have some attorneys because we're going to be filing lawsuits against individuals for hate speech, like that announcer I've been reporting on, who called the high school girls basketball team effing N-words because they kneeled during the national anthem, to draw attention to the fact that the shit that Colin Kaepernick started drawing attention to in 2016 is still going on 5 years later. Okay. Now, there are those in the white community that think reparations have already been paid. Okay. We did this 40 acres and a mule thing right after, we got to do some educating along the way here. We got to do some educating. We got to tear down some false narratives. And Lindsey Graham said when they signed the COVID relief bill, there's the reparations for the Black community. We've given low interest loans to Black businesses, and that's the reparations. So first of all, defining what reparations means is going to be a challenge, and it's going to be something that needs to be undertaken if it hasn't already. And I'm not saying it hasn't already. I'm just saying it's going to be a challenge just to define it and to come up with something agreeable. But that's always a challenge. So just going to run down through here real quick. Old grandma, poo-poo. Okay. T-Rex, man, a sinking tide sinks all ships. Yeah, a tsunami will sink all ships. Yeah. And it was the swarm. That's what was supposed to have happened on March the 4th, the first when the inauguration day was originally happened. That was the QAnon. And I don't know why I said earlier, I said the Oath Keepers and the Proud Boys, when it actually the QAnon organization or QAnon movement, whatever. Chai, none of your business. Thanks for watching. Oh, Grandma, thanks for watching. I'm not sure what the poo-poo comment was, but thanks for watching. The government gave us the virus. Who would trust the vaccine? No, even though it was Trump, I'm not going to say the government. Hey, if this was all about making money, if this was about conspiracy theories, if this was about just getting views, if this was about saying crazy shit, I'd say, yeah, Donald Trump brought the virus here and gave it to everybody because he wanted everybody to die, so he'd be the only one left and he'd have everything. But no, no, the government didn't. Now, Trump's responsible for the spread, okay? But the government, because of the way he handled it and the way he ignored science. And I'm sorry if you're a Trump supporter, but that's just how I see it. Okay, he didn't bring it here, but he didn't do what he should have done to stop it, especially initially a year ago. But no. Now I've had the first vaccine. I've had the first shot. I get the second shot March 31st, and on April 15th, 15 days after the second shot, I should be able to go out in public and into a private place with somebody else that's been vaccinated. Okay. I'm going to let you know how it goes. So far, hey, I'll show you. Just absolutely, absolutely nothing. Okay, I was shocked right there. Um, it got sore the second day, but that's all there was to it. So don't get back now. Those of you that are seriously not going to get vaccinated yet, don't do it just because I've got my first one. Okay, wait till I get the second one. Wait until 14 days after that. Let's make sure there aren't any reactions or anything. All right. And I'm not doing this because I want all of you to get vaccinated, even though what the science is saying is the more of us that are vaccinated, the quicker we can go back to normal. And I'd really like to go back to some semblance of normal, okay? Where you can go out and hear a band play music and dance and go to the Indianapolis 500 and go to a Colts game and go to a movie theater or go to live theater or poetry readings or museums. I mean, there's so much stuff that I personally took for granted that I enjoyed doing that. And I may be a lot more paranoid than some people, and I may have a lot more anxiety and I got other stuff going on. But I've tried to be really, really, really cautious for over a year now, because I didn't want to die from something that should have been preventable. So that's they tell you when you get the vaccine that it doesn't guarantee you're not going to get the virus, but it almost certainly guarantees you won't die from it, and you're not going to be in the ICU, and you're not going to be hospitalized. So I looked at it as, if I got the virus and I was laying there in the hospital with a respirator on me and I knew that I was about to die, what a doofus thing it would be to have not taken the vaccine to keep me from being there. And that's why. So again, I'll run down through here and see if anybody's got Knuckles, did you reply with your address? That's all we're waiting for. We'll get things sent out to you as soon as we have the address. And if you replied for it, or if you replied to it, I'll respond either later tonight or tomorrow. Marvelous Marvin Hagler took the vaccine and he's dead. I didn't know Marvin Hagler died. When was that, T-Rex? False. Okay. I'm not going to get in the middle of NFAC, MBPP discussions. NFAC don't move, period. Without, yeah, I'd say from what I know, if it's an NFAC activity, it's Grandmaster J. Otherwise, it's not an NFAC activity. That's just what I've come to understand. Obama has 10 million more followers on Twitter than Trump and LeBron James combined. You shall know who he is by the numbers of his name. You think Obama's the Antichrist? What's up, Glenn Smith? Young City, what's up? Young, I want to get you back on here sometime real soon. And Glenn, you were supposed to be on once and we couldn't get you on. Let's work to do that. The official true Franken soldier. Oh, I'm sorry. Man, that true soul, my man, True Soldier, the real True Soldier, the original True Soldier, whatever title he goes by, he must have some serious clout, because there's some people working hard to get onto that. Holy shit, there's a True Soldier fetus growing out of your back, Barry. Oh, Um, all those that died, think all the money the government saved by that. Knuckles, yeah, that's something that's been brought up before and something I haven't wanted to think about. That's callous and heartless that you would think the government would look at things that way. But there are people in the government that are callous and heartless and do indeed look at things that way. Immortal River Nile Valley, he's a devil for sure. Barack Obama is a devil. Wow. I've met Obama a couple of times actually. Actually sat down, had a one-on-one with him in Chicago, Illinois during a thing called the Yearly Costs Convention. Back in the days where there were chat rooms, I guess they called them, or chat boards or whatever. There was one called Daily Kos. And it was the Yearly Coast Convention in Chicago, or COS, depending on where you're from, how it was pronounced. Doofus, please tell him again, FAC don't move without Grandmaster Jay. I can't say that 100%, okay, because I'm not in an FAC and I've never actually spoken to Grandmaster Jay. But I've heard him lay it out several times, and I have, as all of you know, I've had several people on here before that are either familiar with or former associates of the NFAC, and Grandmaster Jay controls everything. 3 warrior fingers resonate a glass pyramid. Good evening, Mr. Welsh. Is the invitation to go live on your show still open? I'm late, however. Did you share an update on your GoFundMe for the gas bill, etc.? Yeah, I don't have anybody on here live, but yeah, the invitation to come on the show, and we record it as a live episode because I don't edit when I'm recording with guests. Hey, Kenny Black, and yes, I did. I didn't share an update on the GoFundMe, but I did say actually, I didn't. I said there was a GoFundMe for EAR. There's a GoFundMe for me too. I had some problems, and I got in a hole, and thankfully people have helped me out, and I'm incredibly grateful. And congrats, you sat down with the devil. T-Rex, you'll get a kick out of this. I was running for Congress at the time, and I was considered a rising star in the Democratic Party. I had just ran against Mike Pence, who was a congressman, and if I came within 10,000 votes of beating him. So if 5,001 people had voted the other way, I'd have been a congressman. So they had some of us in Chicago to meet with all of the presidential candidates at that time before the debates started and before the primaries started. And I sat down across the table, had a one-on-one with, he was then Senator Barack Obama. And I also had one with Hillary Clinton. So, yeah. And it was about, basically, when it was done, it was like, you need to pick one of these two and push them back in your district. Okay. And, I'm not really good at following orders like that. So anyway, thank you, Kenny Black. Knuckles, I always need help, man, but I got the gas back on. Thank you, everybody. The gas is back on. I got heat. I got hot water. The gas is back on. Got the brakes fixed in the back of my vehicle. I got what I considered a deal from a guy. I told the guy the situation I was in, and for under $250, I had brake pads and rotors put on the rear end of my vehicle, and around here, that's a really good deal. So I'm blessed, and I'm thankful for everybody that has helped out and everybody that supported the show here recently and supported the show in the past and has supported the show from the jump. Yeah, I am more River Nile Valley. I thought when I mentioned that I had a one-on-one also with Hillary. I also had a one-on-one with he was a senator from Alaska that was thinking about running for president at the time. And that was one of the most entertaining conversations I ever had. The guy's a little bit out there. And I wish I'd recorded that. Go check out Locks and Loads Firearm Reviews YouTube channel. He's GMJ's head of security. Okay. I have checked out Locks and Loads in the past. I don't think that's directed at me. I don't know if it is or not, but I have checked out Locks and Loads YouTube channel in the past because it's informative when it comes to firearms and firearm safety and properly handling firearms. So yeah, I'd recommend people go watch Locks and Loads. And see, that's another thing I do here that others don't do. I tell you to go watch other channels, where other shows are just like, hey, if if it's not from here, it's not 100 or whatever. Okay, 3 words. Could you and your viewers please research Arthur Bell? Art Bell, that's kind of, okay, that's not Arthur Bell. That's a different. Art Bell's the conspiracy theorist that used to be on late night AM radio when I'd be driving home late nights from certain events. Research Arthur Bell. Grandmaster J of NFAC used Arthur Bell's template to recruit. Okay. Oh, there was a formation today. I see. All right. I'm sorry, Space Frog. I wasn't up to date. Locks and Loads Firearm Reviews has videos about today's formation. Well, if there was a formation today, I would venture to say that it was pre-approved by Grandmaster J, even if he wasn't there or part of it. But I'm just guessing. I did see Sleepy Joe fall asleep on the stairs of Air Force One. Yeah, it made me think back to Gerald Ford falling down the stairs of the airplane, and here Biden's kind of falling up, and how Saturday Night Live spent like a whole season making fun of Gerald Ford constantly falling down. Okay. When Arthur Bell organized his legion, only Anglo-Saxon middle-aged males responded to the call. The world is trying to silence the data. Where did so many people holding 1900s ideology come from? They came from the conservative movement, because the whole conservative movement, the whole idea of that is not to move forward, is to go back to how things were, back to the good old days. That's why the Make America Great Again slogan caught on with so many people that weren't thinking in depth, because, hey, go back where it was great, remember back. And it just comes to mind Grandmaster J speaking in Lafayette, Louisiana, reminding people, okay, when was it great for Black people? Back in the 1960s? No, it wasn't so great back when they were killing people and sicking police dogs on people and spraying them with hoses and beating them with pipes and lynching them. And No. So you go back and you find out it's never really been that great for Black people. And the reason so many want to go back is because it was much better in their minds for white people before there was ever any concept of the idea that we're all humans. That's a barrier that still has to be broken down with a percentage of white people, is that just because someone is not white does not mean they're not a human being. And it doesn't mean they're an inferior human being. Chances are they're far superior in, if nothing else, being resolute, and nothing else, not being animalistic and just going on a rampage and killing. Because you just don't see that from the Black community. You don't see a Black man deciding, I'm going to go kill a bunch of people at a spa. Now there are going to be times that one Black man shoots another Black man too many times. But that's generally a one-on-one confrontational thing. It's not just because you're having a bad day and you think other people's lives aren't worth anything. And too many times individuals in the white community think that way. And we got to at least talk about it. We got to at least make people constantly aware of it until something's done. There were some Black people kicking major ass back in the 60s too. You're exactly right. That's when the Black Power movement started. That's when the Panthers rose up. That's when a lot of people in the white community realized, hey, things have to change. And they started to change for a while. And then we quit fighting for change. Those of us on both sides that took for granted that things were going to keep progressing and things were going to be all right, when those that wanted to go backwards were hell-bent on making sure things didn't progress too far and things were never going to be all right. Space Frog, Google search NFAC militia group marches to sheriff to challenge suicide ruling. Okay, I missed all of that. Like I said, I've been trying to I've been filling out applications for jobs throughout the day today. Okay, so I haven't done my research. I haven't looked into things, haven't been on email. Anyway, I did want to mention that there's some horrific things going on in Africa on the border of the Sudan and Ethiopia. And I also wanted to mention that there's a major volcano possibly about to erupt in Iceland, near Reykjavik, the major city in Iceland. So I touch on it every once in a while. I don't want to get people all freaked out, but the Earth is in a very active pattern as far as vibrations, as far as tectonics and volcanism, not Vulcan, but volcano. We just got to be, in my opinion, we always got to make sure our soul's okay, because we never know when it's going to be our day. This is the first day of the rest of my life, and I hope it's not the last. But if it is, I want to go out with a pure heart, and I want to go out with a pure soul, and I want to go out trying to love even those that hate me. and that's a tall order, because it's so much easier just to hate, to throw shade, whatever you want to call it, than it is to realize that, I gotta look after me first. I gotta take the log out of my eye before I remove the splinter from my brother's eye. I don't know. Are you going to report and follow the trial for George Floyd killer? Yes, I will. And I'm glad you brought that up, Knuckles. I wanted to comment on that. I keep hearing the media saying the George Floyd murder trial. George Floyd didn't murder anybody. Okay. The trial is for the murderer of George Floyd. And to me, saying it as the George Floyd murder trial just is a way of linguistically using language, again, in a subtle manner to devalue the life of George Floyd. Okay. And it happens all the time. And if I'm obsessive in pointing these things out, I apologize. But it doesn't mean that, it doesn't mean I'm ashamed to be a white person. All right. This is what God chose, I can't change my whiteness any more than a black person could change their blackness. What I can do is recognize that the whiteness isn't superiority. The whiteness is just pigment. It's about what's in our heart. It's about the purity of our hearts, not the pigment of our skins. It's about being able to, or being willing to listen, and maybe come to a compromise with somebody, and I and I know he's on here watching, and that's not why I'm doing it, but I truly applaud Knuckles and Delta for coming on and sharing their truths with each other, and in such a respectful way that we should see more often. That would happen more often if there were platforms and venues for it to happen. And that's another thing we're going to focus on in EAR. We're going to have an app where, if people want, they can reach out to members of other communities if they have no other way of doing it, and just random, and just communicate, just so we see the humanity of each other. And maybe if we see more of the humanity, there'll be less desire for killing. What's up, official truth soldier? The great earthquake in Armageddon the great earthquake hadn't happened yet. Armageddon hadn't happened. When I don't think there'll be any doubt when the prophecies of the Bible, I'm not saying they haven't begun, because it depends on your interpretations. You can see a lot of things, especially if you've studied Daniel from the Old Testament, tied in with the revelation of John of Patmos. And a lot of things could be interpreted as, we're getting near the end times, or we're already in the end times. And it's even more of a reason to stop the hate, man, because all hate really does is destroy you. The more we hate, the more we destroy ourselves. And that's just my opinion. Poverty in the inner city, Babylon is falling. All right, the official True Franken Soldier and official True Soldier are going to communicate, maybe. check this out. Do you recall when I said you are like the Paul Revere? Paul Revere, the British are coming. Grandmaster Jay was imported from the UK. The pond, the ducks, and the death threats are clear. Grandmaster Jay was imported from the UK. That's different. I can see how some would see America as a modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. Yeah, I understand that too, soldier. Original. Oh, hey, I love y'all. Thank you all. Bad boy Aries, keep up the good. Thank you, man. That's the plan. That's the plan. You're going to keep it up, and I hope you'll. I hope you'll share it again. Copy one of the episodes. You know, just copy the link and put it on your Twitter page with an @ to somebody you admire, and help us spread the word about what we're trying to do here. If you know, it's a way of helping the program and helping me that doesn't cost y'all any money. Hey, janitor boy, what's going on, idiot? Hey, Stone's Dirty Socks. I assume you're directing that at me. What's going on is I'm just getting ready to get off here. Just been on for almost an hour, and that's a good time to say thank you very much for watching. If you want to support the show, $ American Doofus, all one word. If you want to reach out to me, Gmail, AmericanDoofus at gmail.com. And if you want to, there's a GoFundMe out there. And thank you for that. That's just going to help support the show and support me in doing the show. And I'm incredibly grateful for everybody that's behind that. And if you want to support EAR, GoFundMe for EAR. If you want to become a charter member, email me at americandoofus@gmail.com, and I'll give you the information on doing that. There are only 50 of those available as of right now. EAR, is that a militia? No, it's not. No, it's not a militia at all. It's end-all racism. Okay. No, we are not a militia, and we're also not anti-militia. Okay. Just because we aren't a militia doesn't mean that I don't speak for everybody, but I speak for myself. I totally see the need for, and I've said this multiple times, this isn't a revelation. I totally see the need for the NFAC and the NBPP and the original Black Panther, whoever. I totally see the need for those organizations within the Black community. Okay, just because we're not one doesn't mean we're against any of them. Okay, so again, Jesus is Lord in my opinion. I'm not going to get all preachy at the moment, but yeah, I have no problem saying Jesus is Lord. And while some people claim Christianity, they have trouble talking about Jesus, which I find odd. What do you think about forming a White Panther Party? I never thought about forming a White Panther Party. No. EAR is, like I said, our focus isn't going to be on the streets. It's not going to be firing guns. We're going to fire off lawsuits. We're going to challenge things in court. We're going to challenge things in the classrooms. It's going to be Congress and congregations. That's what got us talking about God in the first place. So no, it's not going to be it's not going to be like that. Watch Saturday Night Live for the rest of the year. Okay. Let me see. I'll go check out Locks and Loads. He'll make it the Rainbow Party already exists. That was what was his name? Is that Al Sharpton? Was Al Sharpton the Rainbow Coalition, or was that Jesse Jackson that did the Rainbow Coalition? End with a prayer. Okay, I'll end with a prayer for. And if you're a non-spiritual person, peace. I love you. Go ahead and click off now. Otherwise, gracious and glorious God in heaven, we thank you, we praise you, we glorify you, we lift your name up to the highest of highs. Thankful for our lives, thankful for the hope that things can be better than they are, thankful for the desire you put within us to try to achieve change, to try to reach a higher level than we are now, to be better human beings. We thank you for that. We ask your blessings upon everybody watching this. May they be blessed spiritually. May they be blessed with health. Maybe they be blessed with mental healing. May they be blessed with emotional strengthening. May they be blessed with financial blessings of abundance and enough. You know, may we all just have enough. And God, watch over each of us and watch over our families and guide us in the decisions we make. And I personally lift prayers in the name of your son, Jesus, who I believe to be my savior and salvation, and the key to me possibly reaching a higher plateau, a spiritual heaven, if you will. And while those are my beliefs, they may not be the beliefs of everyone watching this or joining in. And that's okay. It's okay for us to have differences, even in our spirituality, as long as we recognize the connections we have in humanity. And those connections were put in place by God, and God has put us in this situation. And maybe it's a test to see how we react, if we can be better. And I hope we can. And I humbly say to you, God, thank you for all these people. Thank you for everybody watching this right now. Thank you for those who'll be watching later. Thank you for those that help spread the word, your word, not the word of this show, but help spread your word through Christ Jesus, my personal Savior, and in whose name I now and always pray. Blessings be upon each and every one of you. Amen. Thank you all. It's the American Doofus Show. I'm your host, Barry Welsh. Don't be a doofus. Good night.